Greetings friends and welcome to Let's Make a 2D Arcade Fighter Part 8. In this video I'm going to show you how to add in some cool user interface elements or UI elements, specifically the health bar. I think that's the classic one everyone will be after. Now full disclaimer, this technique I actually learned from Mr. Wooshi, so I'll add a link to his video. I thought it's important to do a shout out to the OG boys who we learned from, so definitely check out that video as well. Anywho, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into Gadgets, Logic and Processing, and then we're going to put down a microchip. And this is going to be our health bar logic. So we can name it HP, or health point, bar logic, just so we know what we're doing and where we're doing it. And this is a really awesome system that I learned from Mr. Wooshi. And what you'll do is, so we have our health manager over here, nothing too fancy at the moment. What we're going to do is, we're going to go to movers and outputs, and we're going to initially do something that establishes the look of our health bar. So we're going to go to a text displayer. And you can really make this look however you want, but there are a few things that you absolutely must do and that aren't negotiable. So the first thing you must do is go into enter text, press triangle to just make a little space, and then press done. You have to have at least something in here, just even a space, otherwise you'll do all your stuff and make it look cool, but if there's no text in it, it won't actually appear, and you'll be like, oh, what's going on, is my visibility set to opacity, whatever, and you stress about it, which I have done, only to realize that you hadn't put anything in here. So just put a little space in there, and you will be sorted. Okay, then the next thing we're going to see is that the size of it is totally wrong, and there's no nice way to actually adjust the size of it. So what we'll do is we'll go into text box properties, we'll go to the bottom and say auto fit, and we'll untick that. So now we have a lot more control over the health bar itself. Woohoo! But at the moment, if the health bar, which is our very, unprofessional and unfinished health bar, at the moment it's just going from both sides in and out, and unless you're making a Skyrim kind of game with those kind of health bars that go from both sides, it's not exactly what we want for a arcade fighter, because normally in arcade fighters it'll go from one side to the other, not from both sides to the middle. So what we'll do for that is we shall go settings, we'll go alignment, and then we shall say horizontal alignment left. Now as we increase and decrease the size, you'll see that the left side stays stable and the right side goes forward and backwards, which is like, this will be your HP going down, and so on and so forth. Alrighty. You can also do yourself a favor and go horizontal alignment left and vertical alignment top, so it goes to the top of the screen as it would in an arcade fighter. And then what happens now is kind of just the aesthetic of it, so you'll kind of make it as big as you like. You can change it to maybe green. If you want it to be like, cool, they've got a green health bar. Then you can mess around. A lot of the stuff you'll be doing is in the text box properties. You can change the roundness or the curviness of it, the circular curviness, so it's a bit more circular, or otherwise it's kind of more oval in shape. Be careful with taper, because I was first like, cool, taper's great, but I'll show you why taper isn't great in a moment. Then there's wonkiness. You can mess around with wonkiness. You can make like some Persona 5 style. I freaking love wonkiness, because it's totally the Persona 5 like icons and the user interface in that game. They just made everything wonky, and it's just a lot of fun. You might want to just quickly turn off shadows, and I think border is pretty good. I think you should keep border for now. I think that'll be good. But yeah, okay, sweet. So here we have a very simple health bar, and nothing too fancy to it, but that's cool. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into logic and processing, and we're going to, well, actually, sorry, before we do that, let's go into animate. Okay, so we're going to go into animate, choose ourselves a nice keyframe. Let me not get ahead of myself. Now we're going to go to this text displayer. We're going to press X on it so that we can make changes, and then we're going to reduce it in size considerably so that it's as far back as it can go. Not only that, but it's also going to be, we're going to change the color. Make sure you're in text box properties and not on text properties, because if you change the color here, you'll change the color of the text, whereas if you change the color here, you'll change the color of the actual box. I'm going to make it red. So essentially what happens is your health goes down, it's going to become increasingly red, so it'll go like green, orange, red. like it does in the Arcade Fighters. Although not all of them do that, but this is just a little tip I learned from Mr. Wushi. Okay, sweet. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is we've got a nice keyframe here, which reduces it in size. We then want to copy this guy, and we're going to go text. We're going to make it just the same, except it's going to be text box properties. It's going to be black. So this is going to work as the background of our health bar, right? And then this is going to go in front of it. So we can leave that as is. We're just going to go to this one, and we're going to go to its settings, and we're going to say always on top. So now this black one is going to kind of serve as the background for when the green one gets depleted. Otherwise the green one just goes down and you can't actually see how much health you've lost. It's kind of just like this one will be kind of short, that one will be kind of short. You can't actually sort of judge it. One thing you must also quickly do is just go to your keyframe. So you press L1 and X, and you make so that this one, which is the background, you're going to press triangle on it so this isn't affected. Otherwise it's going to shrink as well, which we don't want. Okay, but now how are we going to get this to actually work? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Gadgets, Logic and Processing, and then choose ourselves this very funky Signal Manipulator. Then we're going to go L1 and square on the Signal Manipulator, go to Custom Remapper, and we've got this funky graph kind of vibe going on over here. You'll see this invert output little icon as you go into it, and you'll click that so that we've got a nice crossing over effect, and that's all you're going to have to do there. Then Mr. Wushi's strat is to actually directly connect the current HP or the current health into the input, and then to adjust it. So for example, if you had 100 current health, you would make this 100. Okay, but I found out a different method which I found was a little bit easier, but really whatever works for you will be best. You go remaining health percent, and you connect it here, and then you make that connect to the input, and then the signal will be connected to this keyframe. Alright, so let's see if it works. What we're going to do is we're going to open this dude, and then I'm going to go to the current health, and I'm going to reduce it, and you can see it's starting to move down. Not only that, it's changing in color. It's going orange and then red, and it goes all the way down. So the manual way to do that is to connect it to current health directly, and you'll go like 100, and then you'll go into here and you'll increase this all the way up to 100, and so on and so forth. But this is actually a lot and a much easier way. So the trick here is this is remaining health, and it's doing it as a percentage rather than a number. And what's cool about this strat is that you can change how much max health they have, and it will still be, the percentage will still be the same. The problem with saying like, okay, cool, I'm going to make, you know, max health would be 100, you'd have to change it to 100. If you're like, actually I want to rebalance my game so that these enemies have, or these guys have 50 health, then you'd need to change this input over here, and you'd have to change that manually to 50. And there's no way that you can change this with sliders, because this is quite a complex bit of maths going on here. So if you just connect a slider into the remap thresholds, it's just going to blow up. So the easiest way to do this, friends, is actually to just go and connect it to the remaining health percentage, and then it works like a charm. And this 1, although it counts as 1, it's kind of like the 1 is like a full sort of digit, as it were, or the 1 kind of counts as 100%, because when I first did it, I was like, okay, cool, it's going to be remaining health percentage, so I'll just move it up to 100. But the way it works is that 1 kind of just works as like a whole value, so you don't have to change anything here. So that was a whole bunch of totally unnecessary explanation, but that is the gist of it, and that's how you get it to work. Okay, sweet. So what we might want to do here is change the text displayer's name, and we might call this HP left. Alrighty. And we can call this one HP background. I'm just going to say BG for background. HP BG left. Fabulous. And then we're going to copy this exactly. Then we're going to select them both, and we're going to go to their alignment, and their horizontal alignment we're going to make it right, and then we're going to make it so that they are horizontal alignment on the screen is going to be right as well. Still on top and so on and so forth, and that's still going to be cool. Now, let us check if this is going to work just as well. So, we're going to open this and open this. We're going to go here, going to reduce the HP. Okay, cool, and it is going smaller and smaller. Fabulous. So now we have health bars on either side, and they're looking pretty good. One thing that we might want to do is, in keeping with our two-player mode and keeping that functionality compatible, we are going to do a little bit of changing it so that if you're player 1, you'll have this guy, and if you're player 2, you'll have this HP bar. Ooh, I'm just going to change it so that it's HP right. Alright. Alright. And then HP BG right. Very nice. Okay, sweet friends. So now what's happening is we've got our signal manipulator, we've got our health bars, various health bars that will be decreased as your health decreases. But at the moment, my player 1 is going to be showing both the left health bar and the right health bar. So the way that we distinguish that is we're going to turn all of these off. So we'll select them all, go into L1 and square, and turn them all off. Then we're going to make it so that player number, remember we did this before, when player number equals 1, we can add in a little keyframe. So this kind of works like an if statement. Definitely a good idea to check out the previous video because there was a lot of useful stuff there. So when player number equals to 1, then it is going to turn on these guys. Fabulous. So we can do it like that. We can also have it on keep changes. Then we're going to do another one, another keyframe. You can make it so that this keyframe does the same, and in fact I think we might. We'll just have it that player 2 settings will also include, so we'll go record, and we'll go HP bar right. It'll turn these ones on, and it'll, if these dudes are on, they will be turned off. Whoops, my bad. These dudes will be turned on, and these guys will be turned off. Okay, sweet. So now let us check what is up. We have our left HP bar, that looks good. And then I'm going to copy this guy, and we'll see how that works. So now if I beat him up, hiya, hiya, there goes his health. You suck, bro. Get wrecked, scrub. Take some of this, bro. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. Okay, sweet. We still need to figure out the respawning and so on and so forth, but at the moment it looks like the health bar is functioning quite excellently. So the next thing I think we can do is, the question is, do I put this in here, or I think I'm going to actually make another bit of logic that's actually external to our players, and this is going to be kind of the game logic. And friends, this really does depend on you where you want to put it. But my personal strat is what I like to call the pink box. And I just make a pink sculpture, and I just put it in the scene. And this is where all my logic is going to be. And this will be invisible. So when the game is actually played, you know, we're going to set the visibility to invisible, so we can't see it. But I like to just have a pink box, and then I attach my logic to it, my like main game logic that isn't in any of my players. Because sometimes you'll put a piece of logic there, and then you'll put a piece of logic here, and then you'll put a piece of logic there, and then you don't know where everything is. I like to just have it central, and have it connected to a nice sculpt, so that it's very visible. And yeah, so that's just a little thing that I like to do. So you can call this game logic, or you can call it the pink box. You can of course make it whatever color you like. But if you do the pink box, then shout out to my squad. Alrighty. So the next thing we're going to do is add in a little timer. And this timer is going to go here. And I'm going to make it 99 seconds. And this one is going to count down. Current time I'm going to make max. So it starts at 99 from there. Then we're going to do a little displayer. Because I feel like this is essential for any sort of, oh sorry, not a text displayer, but in fact a number displayer, which you'll find in moves and output. And we're going to go timer output connected to the number range. Number displayer, we'll put this in the middle at the center. Oh wait, no, sorry. We'll put it in the center on the top. That's the one, sorry. You can mess around with the font. The fourth font is quite a nice one for numbers, but really experiment with that as you desire. We're going to make a time. You can be extra and add in a decimal place if you like, but that's not generally the convention, I've noticed. Generally there isn't like a very small amount. They won't do like 99.9 seconds because that would be a little bit too much information on the screen. You can get rid of the text box, you can get rid of the border, you can get rid of the shadow, you can adjust the size, whoops, not of that, but of the number itself. You can adjust the size as you desire. Also, it's actually a little bit low if you ask me. So what I would do is actually, I would say, forget you, vertical alignment, I'll align it myself. And I would put it maybe hereabouts, just a little bit higher. Alrighty. So, now it's doing nothing. I might have done this a little bit backwards. Time of output's maybe not right. We're going to do current time, that's the one, and connect it to number range. So now if we play, okay, no. Okay, no, that's doing it in a minute. Okay, no, that's not what we want. Instead, what we're going to do is just number. So now we go from 99 backwards, because of course it's going to change it, it's going to convert it into minutes and seconds and so on. So now if we fight, we've got our timer, and we've got our health bars. And now I can beat this dude up. What? You suck, bro. Hoo hoo hoo. Yo, I juggled this noob, bro. Learn how to play, bro. Shucks. Go back to the challenge screen, my dude. Yeah. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. And we can see, this is actually also a good test to see that all our moves do damage to our enemy and not ourselves. Alrighty. So, friends, that looks pretty good. You can totally adjust this as you desire. This is actually looking a bit small. I might make it a bit bigger. And you have your game logic in here. You can call this your timer, whatever you desire. Totally up to you. And then, yeah, that's looking quite fabulous, friends. You don't want our pink box to show up now in our game, so we'll just make it invisible. And now if we play, we'll see that we've got okay, sweet friends. But we've got the look of it right, but we want the timer to actually function. So we're going to go show and hide, and then preview invisibility so we can see our block. Then I think we're going to quickly turn the visibility back on for our little pink block, because looking at the game, when looking at preview invisibility, you see a lot of unnecessary stuff that we don't want to look at right now. So I'm just going to turn that off again. Don't really want to be looking into the matrix right now. And we're going to make it that when the time runs out, it is going to do a bunch of other stuff. It's going to be like game over or something like that, you know what I mean? So we haven't set up win and lose conditions yet, or the rounds or the KOs. We're going to do that in a future video. So I think for now, what's going to happen is we're just going to add in a little text displayer that says time up or time's up or whatever. Time up. Time's up? Can't think of what it would normally be. Time's up with an exclamation mark. And that's going to be in the center and in the middle, large and in charge. Choose a random funky font. Oh, it's not that funky. Okay, I guess that's kind of funky. Make it nice red text. You know, mess around with it. Red and yellow is quite a nice combo. I guess it looks kind of bad actually. Yeah, you can mess around with this, friends, as you desire. I'm just gonna put some freaking wonkiness. You see, wonkiness is the business, man. Those Persona, those Atlas dudes, they know what's up. And we can make this like loads bigger. Time's up. This font is just wrong, my dudes. It's just time's up. Isn't there like a funky font? Oh, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. Okay, cool. Time's up. So when the time is up, we're gonna go timer finished signal, and we're going to power this dude on. Make sure you go timer finished. This timer finished pulse is will only do it for a split second, so that's good for triggering like a timeline or something like that. But if you want something to be displayed continuously, you'll be timer finished signal. Okay, sweet. It'll say time's up. And also what it's going to do is we're going to disable the controls of our dudes. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to add in a little bit of a young keyframe. And this keyframe is going to disable our puppet's controls. So they will no longer be able to play and attack and so on when the time is up. Okay, sweet. Make sure then that we get rid of this dude, because he's a potato, and that this is affecting it properly. And it's just going to affect this guy, but of course not. If we do it like this, it's going to be cool. So let's see what happens. No, actually I'm not going to wait the full 99 seconds, because that's going to make me cry. I'm just going to quickly shorten this to just like 2 seconds. I'm going to be jumping. Wow! Huh? Why is it still 99? Madness. Okay. Alrighty, whatever. So it's just going to be 4 seconds. Wow, I'm jumping. I'm going crazy. Woohoo! Okay, now I can't move anymore. Time's up. Okay, cool, friends. So that is just the very simple, adding in the very simple elements of the health bar and the adding in the timer. So I'm just going to reset this business to 99. So friends, this is these are some building blocks that we're going to build on in the future videos when we add in like the KO and the round winning and round losing, so that we can, for example, like count how many wins you have, and it'll be like first to 3, all those sorts of things, and distinguishing between the rounds, and of course when time runs out to go to another round. All those things we're going to do in future videos. This was just adding in the nice little health bar, the nice timer, some of those basic UI elements, and we will be adding more in future. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you want to see more of this, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed this one, then hit that like button, and yeah, then we can figure out if this is good stuff and make some more of it. Friends, thank you so much for sticking around. Catch you on the flip-flop. Peace out.